In the previous class, we have studied nutrition and different types of nutrition, where we have studied different types of nutrition like autotrophic nutrition, heterotrophic nutrition. We have also seen different types of heterotrophic nutrition also. But today, we are going to study about a specific type of nutrition, and that is autotrophic nutrition. And in this autotrophic nutrition, we are mainly focusing the process of photosynthesis. In the lower class, you might have studied the photosynthesis process where you simply have defined the process of photosynthesis as the preparation of food material. But now the complexity increases. At this level, you need to understand its difficult components involved in it. Like in this process, we are going to prepare some chemical compounds which are very, very essential for the plants. Let us see that what are the different components that helps the plants to undergo a process of photosynthesis. As we can see with the help of the diagram, sunlight is essential and carbon dioxide is required and water is required. As these three are the main factors, air, water and sunlight, with which the plants undergo the process of photosynthesis. But now at this level, the complexity increases and now we can define the process of photosynthesis as photosynthesis is a photochemical process which involves the formation of complex organic substances. Complex here means difficult substances which are very complex in nature. So, organic substances from simple inorganic substances in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. So, this can be better given by an equation like this. Carbon dioxide plus water, which gives a general compound which is called as carbohydrates, plus water and oxygen. Here in the definition, you have two difficult terms like organic substances and inorganic substances. Organic substances are those substances which contains the carbon in them, while inorganic substances are other than the carbon containing compounds. So these two different substances are involved in the process of photosynthesis. So from the simple inorganic components like oxygen, carbon dioxide, water, all these are very simple in nature. So these are inorganic substances. But with a combination of these inorganic substances like carbon dioxide and water, we are going to prepare a complex compound which is a carbohydrate. In general, this carbon, hydrogen, oxygen containing compound is called as carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are formed in the process of photosynthesis. Here, Van Niel, C.B. Van Niel in the year 1931 has given the equation like 6CO2 plus 12H2O undergoes a process of photosynthesis in presence of light and chlorophyll to gives us carbohydrate, water and oxygen. As you can see, this upward mark of arrow mark is only used when the oxygen or some other gases. You see the equation of photosynthesis. This is a very important equation to understand the process of photosynthesis. This equation actually gives you all the idea about how the process of photosynthesis is taking place. First of all, you can see that here the carbon dioxide molecules are there. It is a balanced equation which is for the first time given by the C.B. Van Niel. And C.B. Van Niel has calculated the amount of carbon dioxide and water to prepare one molecule of carbohydrate. So it is a balanced equation in which 6 carbon dioxide molecule is required plus 12 H2O molecules means water molecules are required to form one carbohydrate molecule. This carbohydrate which we are saying as C6H12O6 is nothing but it is a general sugar. Sugar, or you can name it as starch, you can also call it as carbohydrate. So all these compounds are one and the same and their formula is C6H12O6. So in general we can refer this term with three different terms like carbohydrates, 1, 2 sugars, 3 starch. By the three names this term or this formula can be named as. So here along with the carbohydrates, carbohydrate is one such substance which contains carbon, hydrogen and oxygen in them. Like here, by the combination of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, we have prepared a sugar molecule which is the ultimate product of photosynthesis as starch. Now, along with the carbohydrate, we have also formed the water molecule and also the evolution of oxygen is being seen. So now let us see that whether these factors like light or water, carbon dioxide, all these factors, does it makes an effect on the photosynthesis or not? So for understanding that whether the factors like carbon dioxide, water and sunlight affects the process of photosynthesis or not, we will be studying about their effects. The first is the factor which you commonly see as water. Water is one of the factor which actually makes the process of photosynthesis possible or not possible. For example, here a scientist Von Helmont has done an experiment on water to understand whether this factor is essential for photosynthesis or not. What he has done, he has taken two plants, like one of the plant growing and another plant also in the same way, but to one of the plant he has not given the water, whereas the other plant was given water. So to see that whether the water affects both the plants or not, or whether the photosynthesis or preparation of food material takes place or not, Von Helmont wanted to see the effect of water. So what he did, he has taken two plants, and to one plant he has allowed the water as a resource along with the sunlight, carbon dioxide, same along with the carbon dioxide and sunlight, but no water. Here the water is also given. So after a few years, he observed that this plant without the presence of water did not grow up, while the other plant to which the water was supplied grew into a well weighted plant, like it grows into a tree after a few years, whereas this plant got dried up. So this was the Von Helmont's experiment to prove that water is essential for photosynthesis. There he proved that if we water the plant, then only the food production of the plants will take place by the process of photosynthesis, and the plant weight is increased, and thus we can prove that water is essential for photosynthesis. Now let us see that how the air affects the process of formation of food into the plants by the another experiment, which is Priestley's experiment. Let's have a look. Now, let us see the Priestley's experiment to understand whether the air makes an effect on the process of photosynthesis or not. For this, Priestley, in the year 1774, he did an experiment on a bell jar. As you can see in the diagram, there is a closed bell jar in which a mouse is there and a burning candle is there. But after after some time, you can see that the mouse has died and the candle also gets extinguished. What happened actually, you need to observe it. In the later case, when you are putting a mint plant into the bell jar, what happened is the mouse is also able to keep itself alive, and also the candle is burning. So what difference can you make it out with these two different cases? In the first case, as we all know that this jar completely has its own air inside the jar, which contains a different mixture of gases like oxygen, carbon dioxide, all those gases, because air is a mixture of gases. But what happens is something is happening inside the jar because of this breathing animal and the burning of the candle, which actually destroys the air, which is getting restored in the second example when we are putting a mint plant inside the bell jar. So this we can understood and we can conclude that this mint plant is actually restoring that air which is getting damaged in the previous case. So Priestley has concluded this experiment that the air is getting restored which is being damaged by the breathing animal like mouse, and which is also being destroyed because of a burning candle. So in this manner, we can conclude that there is something which is connected with the air, and that air which is getting restored in the form of oxygen. With this experiment only, Priestley has discovered the gas oxygen. But at that time, we were not aware of the photosynthesis process. This was taking place in 17th century, where we were not aware of the photosynthesis process. And we only just discovered that there is a gas released by the mint plant, which is actually restoring the air and making possibility for the breathing animal mouse, and which is also helping the burning candle. And we all know now that burning is getting facilitated by the gas oxygen, and also know that oxygen helps us for breathing. So that's how we have discovered that oxygen gas is released by the plants, which is making possible for the animal to live and survive, whereas also the candle is able to burn. So in this way, we can see that air also plays a very vital role for the process of photosynthesis. Thus, he concluded that actually the plants restore the air what breathing animals and burning candles remove. We have seen that Priestley has proved that the air is restoring because of the plants. And now we will also be seeing that how the light is being affecting the process of photosynthesis. Like it is being experimented by another scientist called as Ingenhouse. Ingenhouse also performed a lot of a series of experiments to understand the process of photosynthesis. He did an experiment where he kept a plant inside a bell jar in which he has taken up a funnel to which he has added an aquatic plant which is called as hydrilla plant, and to this he has actually inverted a test tube which is filled of water. This apparatus is kept in two different situations. Like the same apparatus I'm putting into a different situation. Like it is the funnel. Here we are having the hydrilla plants to which we are added a test tube filled of water. Inside this beaker we are having water. So this same experiment is under two different situations. Like this is where we are having the light and this is no light. Like light is not possible here, whereas light is possible here. So in presence of light, the plant is actually producing gas bubbles. This means that the plant has undergone the process of photosynthesis, whereas without the light, the aquatic plant hydrilla is not able to produce the oxygen gas which has been given in the equation. As we have said that oxygen gas is produced in the equation in the process of photosynthesis. But here we can see that there will be no production of oxygen without the light. That's why we can say that light is impossible, light is essential for photosynthesis to take place. As we can see in this case where light is available and because of that the aquatic plant has undergone the photosynthesis process, because of which the air bubbles or the gas bubbles or oxygen is being evolved, and because of these bubbles we can say that the light is playing a vital role for the plant to undergo the photosynthesis. And this is take place because of no light available, which make the plant not to undergo the process of photosynthesis. Thus we proved that, or Ingenhouse proved that light is essential for photosynthesis. So these are the three factors which actually affects the process of photosynthesis: water by von Helmont experiment, air by Priestley's experiment, and light by Ingenhouse experiment. So these are the three basic factors which affects the process of photosynthesis. In the next class, we shall be studying about the different mechanical processes, that how the photosynthesis process is taking place actually, what is the mechanism, and how what is the site of photosynthesis.